Can a machine actually tell a good story? Well, today we're going to dive into a fascinating experiment that's trying to find out by pitting artificial intelligence against hundreds of pages of really dense corporate reports.
So here's the big question, right? Can you feed an AI a 200-page report full of jargon and numbers and get back a clear, engaging narrative? A story? It's a massive test for AI, and one project is trying to figure that out.
And this channel is that experiment. It's a project all about taking a look inside Argentine companies using AI, and its whole purpose is to see if a machine can actually master the art of corporate storytelling. So, let's break it down. AI-powered corporate storytelling, what is this project really all about? At its heart, this is all about seeing if a large language model can become a storyteller for big companies. It takes these incredibly complex, official documents and tries to boil them all down into something you and I can actually understand.
But here's the really wild part. There's no human narrator in the final videos. The AI isn't just writing a script, it's creating the whole shebang. The voices you hear, most of the slides, it's an AI creation from start to finish.
Okay, so how does it actually pull this off? How do you go from a stack of super dry documents to a full-blown discussion?
Well, the process is actually pretty straightforward. First up, you feed all those official documents into the system. That's its source of truth. Then, the AI gets to work, processing all that info and generating the script, the voices, and the slides. And what pops out at the end? A 15 to 20-minute explainer.
Now, this is a really important point. The AI isn't just scraping the web or Googling stuff. It's trained only on the official published documents. We're talking about annual reports, sustainability reports, and all those regulatory filings. This is the company's own data, straight from the horse's mouth.
All right, so we know what goes in and how it all works. But what does the final story actually look like? What kind of information does the AI decide is important enough to highlight?
Well, the AI is basically prompted to build a complete picture of the company. So you're going to get the high-level financials, you'll hear about their big strategic moves, key projects they're working on, and even their sustainability efforts. The idea is to give you a holistic snapshot of how that company performed for the year.
And the project has a pretty specific playground, too. It's focused squarely on the heavy hitters, the largest publicly traded companies in Argentina. So by zeroing in on these major players, the project is creating this unique AI-driven view of the country's whole corporate scene.
Okay, now for what is arguably the most important part of this entire experiment, the guardrails. In other words, what this project is not.
And the number one rule, the most critical point they make is this. This is not financial advice. It's an educational experiment, plain and simple, not a tool for making investment decisions.
And they really hammer this point home. The AI does not give recommendations, it's not rating stocks, and its output is definitely not professional financial analysis. The project is totally independent, with no connection to any of the companies it covers.
And you know what? This is a refreshingly honest disclaimer. The creators are totally upfront about the limits of today's AI. They say the output could have errors, it might misinterpret things, and it can even hallucinate, which is the AI term for, well, just making stuff up. So accuracy is just not guaranteed.
All of which leads to this one single essential takeaway. This project is a starting point for your curiosity, not a replacement for your own due diligence. The message is crystal clear. Verify everything for yourself.
So with all those warnings in mind, let's zoom out. What's the real why behind an experiment like this? What's the bigger ambition here?
See, the goal isn't to replace human analysts. It's more like a window into how an AI actually thinks when it's faced with immense complexity. When a machine reads hundreds of pages of corporate speak, how does it decide what the main story is? This project lets us watch that process unfold.
So, who's this for? Well, if you're a tech or AI enthusiast, for sure. Or if you're just curious about how AI is being used on real-world data. Or hey, maybe you just want a quick, high-level overview of these major companies without having to wade through 1,000 pages of reports yourself.
And when you boil it all down, that's really what this is. It's part education, part entertainment, and it's all wrapped up in a public experiment to push the boundaries of what AI can do with really complex information.
And that leaves us with a fascinating final thought to chew on. This project is focused on corporate reports today. But if an AI can get good at telling that story, what other incredibly dense, complex subjects could it learn to translate for us tomorrow? What other stories are just locked away in data, waiting for the right tool to tell them?